This is Super Yacht News. In association with Go Earth, navigating boat buyers to better deals. Hi, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, I've seen a lot of new subscribers recently. I am a 25-year veteran of the maritime industry, 15 years of that spent in the super yacht industry. So let's get on with the first story. We've got a video here from the Triton, actually. It shows a yacht that was deliberately crashed into a concrete barrier. So let's play the tape.
Oh my God!
Is he asleep?
Whoa!
Oh, he's about to crash.
Is someone recording this?
I am.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Oh my God, he's crashing! Record it! Oh!
Damn!
He jumped off! He jumped off!
Why?
Yeah, someone jumped off.
The incident happened in Marina del Rey in California. And from what we understand, the captain had a issue on board where he couldn't stop the vessel from moving. So he felt the best thing to do to avoid an incident or an accident crashing into another boat was to deliberately crash the vessel into the concrete barrier. Now, on the Instagram account where this is posted, there's quite a lot of criticism of the captain, people saying that he should have gone down to the engine room and switched off the engines. Now, if he'd done that and he hadn't been successful, people would have been saying, why did he leave the bridge when there was going to be an accident, right? So it's one of those situations, you've only got a few seconds to think. Obviously, we're not there, so we don't know the full details of the incident. We just see what we see from this boat. I think based on what we know, he did the right thing. He crashed into a concrete barrier rather than crashing into another vessel. Somebody jumps from the vessel just before the crash. I assume that was the guy who was driving the boat. We don't know, the skipper, because the camera moves off, so we can't see who it is who exits the vessel. But a few boats, people jump into their boats and drive away. I guess they're thinking that the vessel might burst into flames or something. After the vessel crashes, you can still see the engines trying to propel the vessel forward. You can see the wash from the engines on the stern of the vessel there, or the propellers, should I say. So that shows that the vessel was, it had some sort of issue where he couldn't stop the vessel from moving forward. Obviously, it'll come out when they do an investigation as to what was wrong. The problem with the fly-by-wire stuff is sometimes you get this, you have a transmitter. When you do things on the bridge, it's transmitted down to the engine room, and then the engine room has a receiver, which it takes that information and sends it to the equipment. And if you have any sort of problem between those two things, then this kind of thing can happen. All right, we'll move on to our next story. Now, you might remember this, it was a couple of weeks ago, 2nd of July, I think it was. We told you about a yacht that had run aground in Formentera in Spain. And the vessel had crashed onto some rocks called Piedra Seca, dry rocks. Initially, I said it was a sandbank. You might remember because of that. And then I corrected it in the following episode. Now, the yacht was grounded there for at least 24 hours, and then it was helped off the grounding by a tugboat. Now, when the vessel got back to Ibiza, it was arrested and detained there. And you remember the footage we showed with the stamp of the local authority on the vessel, and it said that basically people couldn't go on board without the permission of the Capitanery. Now, the reason why is because after the vessel grounded, the local authorities, the maritime authorities in the area, told them that they had to have a refloating plan and they had to have a hull inspection before they could refloat the vessel. But apparently, according to the authorities, the owner ignored those instructions and had the vessel refloated anyway, without doing an inspection of the hull, right? So, as you saw in the video from the last video we posted on Friday, where there was a big hole in the hull, if that vessel had had a similar issue and they'd refloated it, it would have sank. And it's in an area that is a protected area, So the area is in a national park. So yeah, it's obviously it was a big concern to them about the pollution, and it was just ignored. The vessel was arrested in the port, as I said, and the owner received a fine from the Maritime Authority of €200,000. Now, the yacht which crashed, the name is Attila, as I mentioned. It's a San Lorenzo built in Italy in 2019, worth about $70 million, a 64-meter yacht. So it's a big vessel, and violating maritime safety and environmental protection regulations. Not a good thing to have on your CV. But yeah, that happened, and they got fined 200,000 euros for their trouble. So I don't think it was worth being refloated sooner. For whatever reasons, they felt that they were in a hurry, and then the vessel got arrested as soon as it got back to port. So yeah, always follow the rules of the local maritime authority is the moral of this story. All right, guys, that's all we've got for today. Short one. Be sure to check us out on patreon.com/yassistman. We post videos quite regularly on there, at least 2-3 times a week. And there's lots of other stuff, behind the scenes stuff and stuff from our recent trip to Italy. And we've got the Monaco Yacht Show coming up unbelievably in a couple of months. So we'll be doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff when we're there as well. So check us out on patreon.com/yassistman. If you've got any information for us, any stories, be sure to check us out in the ticker there. You can see an email address for information, and you can see a WeTransfer address if you want to send us videos. Please don't send it through Facebook, because we have trouble downloading. We can't download the videos, and when we do, they come out this big. So you just use that link instead, and we get the full resolution versions. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye.